Rimuru Lumiel Angel of Void by Rimu_Kai. Before the Crimson Mediator's arrival. It had been years since Lavenda, the proud and elegant lavender-haired demoness, had ascended to a new title seal. No longer merely the eighth primordial demon, she had become something more, the arrogant yet dignified lover of Lumiel, the Angel of Nothingness. In those long years, the celestial realms had settled into a deceptive peace. Sylvia, everkind and impossibly radiant, had also become Lumiel's lover, and the balance between the two women formed a strange harmony. Sylvia's warmth contrasted with Ciel's cold arrogance, and yet, they coexisted like light and shadow, bound by their shared affection for the enigmatic Lumiel. Though Lumiel felt emotions, curiosity, irritation, perhaps even a quiet fondness he could never feel as deeply as mortals did. That didn't stop Sylvia and Ciel from falling for him, nor from watching him closely, like twin stars forever orbiting his gravity. Sylvia, soft in voice and gentle in spirit, had managed something neither Velgrind nor Velzard could. She became Ciel's friend. Despite Ciel's haughty manner and pride, she respected Sylvia. Unlike the proud dragon sisters, Sylvia did not bark orders or clash horns. Instead, she listened, smiled, and offered wisdom. Myra, the evercalm blindfolded beauty, also grew closer to Ciel during those years, though their friendship was more of silent acknowledgement than outward affection. They often shared tea without words, letting the quiet define their bond. Velgrind, however, had taken a liking to Ciel's arrogance. The two clashed constantly, fiery banter, mocking smiles, and a mutual refusal to back down. It was no surprise they found in each other a strange reflection. Velzard, cold and majestic as ice, got along with Ciel in a different way, quiet respect, nods across grand halls, and wordless understanding born from pride and power. And yet, even with such a shifting network of personalities, there was unity. Sylvia and Ciel, though opposites in temperament, watched Lumiel together. Whenever he asked why they observed him so closely, they would reply with a smile, "For your protection." But the truth ran deeper. The two women, one light, one pride, were ensuring their man, their king of nothingness, remained in line. Lumiel never questioned it too deeply. He had long since stopped pretending to understand the complexities of love. During these quiet, ever-changing years, Ciel began summoning subordinates from her demonic lineage. 4 powerful female demons answered her call. Each of them, born from Ciel's pride and magical authority, quickly acknowledged Lumiel as their king, not because he asked, but because he stood beside Ciel, and that was enough. To them, Lumiel was divine royalty. Not all accepted this development. Orin, Lumiel's white blind-folded angelic subordinate, found himself grinding his teeth whenever Ciel entered the same space. A demon consorting with Lumiel. It was offensive to Orin's very being. He was an angel, forged in the celestial flame, not born from the sinful chaos of the abyss. Myra, his elegant and calm counterpart, didn't share his level of disdain, but she, too, looked at Ciel with wary eyes. The tension between them was subtle yet sharp, a whispered insult here, a dismissive look there. Among the remaining primordial angels, Dino had the least patience. Ciel's energy was overwhelming to him, clashing violently with his desire for peace and laziness. Too loud, too proud, he once muttered, and avoided her ever since. Garasha, Obera, and Pico were no kinder. Though they respected Ciel's sheer strength and undeniable storm of demonic force, they made no effort to like her. Respect, after all, did not mean friendship. It meant acknowledgement, nothing more. And above them all, like a careless sun, was Veldanava. The eldest of creation, the most powerful being in all existence, Veldanava remained painfully childish. His power eclipsed all, yet he behaved like an overgrown boy. He played with reality like it was a toy box, spoke in a sing-song voice, and always greeted danger with a cheerful grin. Despite his strength, it was often his younger sisters Velgrind and Velzard who scolded him like an unruly toddler. "Velda, stop floating the moons just because you're bored," Velzard would snap, "and put your clothes on properly," Velgrind would add, dragging him down from some nonsense cosmic dance. He'd pout, fake crying, then snap his fingers and collapse a sun just for the drama. Still, there were things even he took seriously, at least, momentarily. After Twilight Valentine's death, Veldanava had grown momentarily thoughtful. Twilight had once been responsible for guiding the proliferation of intelligent life, subtly encouraging the growth of civilizations and harmony across worlds. With him gone, Veldanava had feared that creation would falter, that sapience might dim like a dying ember. But time revealed the truth. Life went on. Naturally. Instinctively. Without need for a hand to guide it. Evolution continued. Civilizations rose. Intelligent species thrived. Yet not all was well. One particular threat had begun to fester, the super sorcery empire ruled by Jahil, the first high human. A kingdom of terrifying intellect, ruthlessness, and ambition. Jahil's forces were conducting horrific experiments on normal humans, twisting them into high humans, perfected, augmented beings. And now, their gaze turned to demons. They hunted and dissected, striving to merge demonic essence with their twisted vision of evolution. Seal, when informed, looked disgusted. Let them rot. They cannot touch true power. Sylvia, ever kind, was horrified by the suffering. But Lumiel, he remained unreadable. They'll collapse on their own, Lumiel said one day, staring at the stars above his floating domain. Ambition without balance invites ruin. Velda Nava, lazy as ever, waved off the matter. Then we wait. Let the little mortals play. It's like a game, isn't it? A race to self-destruction. And if they win? Sylvia asked softly. They won't, Seal said sharply, folding her arms. Jahil's madness will consume him before he ever reaches us. And so, they ignored the Empire. At least for now. Lumiel had no desire to interfere in mortal struggles. He had seen too much, felt too little. His domain floated between stars, its spires casting shadows upon galaxies. He ruled over silence, over emptiness, over balance. He watched the others from afar, often with a small smile that meant nothing and everything. And still, Sylvia and Seal watched him, whispering when he turned away, smiling when he asked why. Their vigilance was not out of distrust, but devotion. Somewhere in their hearts, they knew this angel of nothingness was capable of anything, including losing himself. And so, in the endless halls of eternity, peace lingered. Unsteady, fragile, the air shimmered with dormant power. Eyes from across realms observed. The world had changed, drifting slowly under Lumiel's gaze. But change never waits quietly. Soon, something would shatter. The chamber was warm with the golden glow of low-hanging crystal chandeliers, glittering like frozen stars across the polished marble ceiling. Every inch of the living room radiated luxury, wide crimson carpets embroidered with divine script, thick velvet drapes covering the arched windows, and furniture lined in red leather, polished obsidian, and divine gold that shimmered with a sacred aura. At the center of it all was a lavish, oversized couch dyed in regal crimson. Upon it lounged Velda Nava, the supreme god, ruler of all, and creator of the cosmos, looking oddly serious. That in itself was unsettling. He sat slouched but tense, arms crossed, eyes narrowed, not playful, not mischievous, but quietly brooding. A gravity filled the space around him, heavy enough to make even the air feel thick. Before him, standing with perfect posture, were Velzard and Velgrind, his two younger sisters, embodiments of ice and flame. Their rivalry was eternal, their natures opposite, yet in this moment, they stood united. Behind Velda Nava, curled up and snoring lightly with his face pressed into the couch, was Dino. His silver-gray hair was a fluffy mess, and a slight whistle escaped his nose with every breath. His slothful presence seemed unaware of the tension. To the sides, seated neatly on elegant chairs, were Obera, Garasha, and Pico, each holding a steaming teacup. Abera's expression was unreadable, four tear-shaped markings glowing faintly on her forehead. Garasha wore a mild frown, arms crossed, her red hair falling elegantly down her shoulder. Pico, tiny and childlike, swung her legs lazily from her seat, twin tails bouncing as she sipped her tea with innocent curiosity. At the edge of the chamber, standing alert like statues, were Orin and Myralumiel's two blindfolded attendants. Orin's lips were twisted in a bitter scowl, while Myra stood silent and stern, radiating fury behind her black silk blindfold. Velda Nava finally broke the silence. His voice was cold. "You two, gotta be kidding me." Velzard's arms folded under her chest, her blue eyes meeting his directly. "No, Velda, we are not." Velgrind, standing beside her, nodded with a fiery glare. "It's painful to admit, but I agree with Velzard. It's true." Obera raised an eyebrow, lowering her teacup. "Isn't this too sudden?" Garasha frowned deeply. "I agree. I didn't expect this at all. Not from you two." Pico tilted her head, lips pouting slightly. "Yup, so sudden, and so unexpected. What happened to all those proud words you always shouted before?" Orin scoffed from his corner. "I don't think Lord Lumiel even noticed this because of that demon woman." Myra turned sharply and slammed her hand on his head. Show some respect, Seal. That's our mistress now. Oren winced. Fine. I'll try. The tension deepened. Then, Velda Nava slammed his hand down on the armrest. I don't care about the rest of it, he said in a low, dangerous tone. Then it happened, his voice snapped into something far more immature, loud, and childishly offended. Why are my little sisters going after Lumiel now? Why don't you love your elder brother anymore? Everyone winced. Even Dino opened one eye groggily from the couch, blinking at the outburst. Ah, is it that time of day already? Garasha sighed, muttering into her cup. There he goes again. Obera nodded. Honestly, he takes emotional damage more than most mortals. Pico snorted, then whispered dramatically, Velda Nava, king of the stars, dethroned by romance. Myra turned to Oren with a teasing grin. He's so loud I bet Lumiel could hear him from the other side of the palace. Oren crossed his arms. He's throwing a tantrum over love. Pathetic. Dino yawned, arms stretching. Velda, can you not scream while I nap? I dreamed I was on a cloud made of cake. Velzard sighed. Her cheeks were faintly pink, a rare sight for the proud ice dragon. It's not that I don't love you as our elder brother, Velda. But. She hesitated, then said quietly, I find Lumiel more attractive. More lovable. Her words echoed through the chamber. Velgrin stepped forward with her usual fiery pride, hands on hips. I second that. I'm not going to pretend it was easy to admit, but Lumiel is the only one who can keep up with me. He doesn't treat me like some crazy dragon. He understands me. She smirked. Unlike some people. Velda Nava gawked. His jaw opened. Two raised you both. I protected you. Taught you how to fly. I. We're an overbearing idiot, Velgrin said with a shrug. Velzard pressed fingers to her temples. Velda, listen. You'll always be our brother. We love you as family. But we both realized something over time. She turned toward the grand window, eyes distant. Lumiel is someone worthy of our hearts. Someone we can admire. Not because of power, but because of his presence. Velgrin chuckled. Besides, the fact he ignores us sometimes makes him even more tempting. Indeed, Myra said with a knowing smile. He tames demons and dragons alike. Oren smirked. Poor Velda. Even his sister harem plans are failing. Dino scratched his head lazily. I mean, to be fair, Lumiel is absurdly good-looking. Have you seen the way his hair glows like a galaxy? Hey, I have a galaxy hair too. Garasha added with a shrug, I always said emotions would doom us all. Look who's crying now. Obera sipped her tea. It's poetic. The creator, forsaken by the creations he raised. Pico grinned. Now Velda's gonna need a hug and 10,000 cookies. Velda Nava looked ready to explode or cry. Possibly both. His face was twisted in disbelief, cheeks puffed with frustration. Unbelievable. Then suddenly, the chamber doors opened. 3 figures entered. At the front was Lumiel, his galaxy blue hair trailing behind like starlight, golden eyes calm, expression unreadable. At his side was Seal, the arrogant demon incarnate, her arms crossed and smirk ever present. Behind them followed Sylvian, angelic elven woman with gentle eyes and radiant beauty, her every movement graceful, her gaze soft as moonlight. All 3 froze at the tension in the room. Sylvia tilted her head. Did we interrupt something? Seal rolled her eyes. Obviously. The air is dense with emotional dysfunction. Lumiel raised a brow, confused. That's when Velda Nava jumped to his feet, eyes blazing, arm outstretched dramatically. You traitor! He roared, pointing at Lumiel. How dare you betray me and steal my sisters from me? Lumiel blinked. Huh, what did I even do now? Lumiel's voice cut through the tension like an unsharpened blade, blunt, confused, and thoroughly exasperated. His golden eyes blinked slowly, shimmering in the morning light pouring through the divine palace's high windows. It had been a quiet day, or so he'd hoped, until a storm of declarations, accusations, and broken logic assaulted his peace. Across the divine chamber, Velda Nava spun around dramatically, hands thrown into the air like a pouting child caught red-handed stealing from the dessert tray. You know exactly what you did. Don't play dumb with me, Lumiel. His black dragon horns twitched in theatrical irritation, long midnight hair rippling as if gravity itself couldn't keep up with his mood swings. You betrayed me. Oren, arms crossed tightly over his small frame, sniffed. I told you, Lord Lumiel. You keep letting those demons and arrogant women too close. This is what happens. The blindfolded boy turned away, clearly annoyed. Myra sighed quietly, calm as ever, though she stood at Lumiel's side like a shadow. You brought this on yourself, Lumiel-sama. I agree with them, said Obara, her forehead marks glowing slightly, lips curled in mild distaste. You let this chaotic energy build up. Gurasha folded her arms with a snort. Even I have to admit this is getting ridiculous. I don't trust demons, especially her, she added with a subtle glance toward Seal. I second that, Pico piped up, bouncing in place with her silvery twintails flicking around. Seal is too much. Dino, half asleep against a pillar, groaned. Can't believe I'm agreeing with them of all people. But seriously, Lumiel, how did this happen? Lumiel sighed. I am confused. Who exactly am I being accused of claiming this time? There was a pause followed by two voices overlapping in eerie harmony. That would be me, Velzard said coolly, her ice blue hair cascading like frozen silk, arms folded. And me as well, Velgrin chimed in, her dark blue braid swaying behind her as her amber eyes gleamed. Seal blinked. Her golden eyes widened, stunned. What? Sylvia, ever graceful, looked equally baffled as her silver blonde locks swayed gently with her movement. Wait, hold on, both of you. Lumiel's expression was a perfect sculpture of disbelief. You're joking. Velzard. Vel grinned. You too. Velda Nava dramatically slapped his hand against his forehead, spinning again. See. Betrayal. I raised you, Lumiel. I taught you emotions. No, you didn't, Lumiel said flatly. Velda gasped. I taught you how to use your wings. I was born with them. I already knew. I gave you power. For 2 days, Veld. 2 days. I protected you and made you a good man. I am not your child, Velda. Stop making the point, damn it. Velda screamed, stomping a foot like a toddler denied sweets. Don't be that obvious. Velzard raised an eyebrow. He's not wrong, brother. Velgrin sighed. Honestly, you're too emotional, Velda. That's why no one takes your tantrums seriously. I do not throw tantrums. Velda declared with fire and lightning erupting behind him, very much proving the point. Obara chuckled dryly. This is a mess. Gurasha muttered under her breath, this is a disaster. Pico just giggled, entertained. I'm enjoying this way more than I should. Dino, still leaning lazily, added, I should have stayed asleep. Orin leaned toward Myra. I told you the demons were ruining him. Sylvia blinked, then asked with polite confusion, so, is Velda Navasama angry because his younger sisters like Lumiel? Seal tilted her head and replied with her usual arrogant smirk. HMPH. That's what it looks like. Can't say I blame him. They have interesting taste. Lumiel held out his hands in helpless defense. Wow. I didn't charm anyone aside from Seal and Sylvia, I think. You think? Velda roared. Use your brain for once. I am using it, Lumiel said dryly. You try using yours first, Velda. Obara muttered to Gurasha, this is escalating. Gurasha replied, it always does when Velda's involved. Velgrin tossed her hair. Maybe we should just decide this like dragons. Velzard smirked. You wouldn't win. Try me. Sylvia rubbed her temple. Oh no. Not again. Seal stepped forward with an amused expression, standing beside Sylvia. I'm fine with watching them fight over our man. What about you, Sylvia? Sylvia blushed. I'd rather not encourage violence. Velda Nava pouted in a corner. My cute sisters. Stolen. Corrupted. Betrayed. Velda, Lumiel said firmly. You do realize you're overreacting to something that hasn't even happened yet. It's called foresight, Velda muttered. Myra finally spoke again. We should be focusing on the important issues. Not sibling love triangles. Dino stretched and yawned. I am the important issue. I still think this whole thing's your fault, Lumiel. Pico raised a hand. Can we vote on who gets Lumiel-sama? I vote Sylvia. Shut up, Pico. Both Velgrind and Velzard snapped at once. Sylvia turned pink. Wait, what? Seal folded her arms. He's mine already. Sylvia and I decided, didn't we? Sylvia gave a nervous smile. I suppose we did. Orin, clearly agitated, grumbled, this is exactly why angels avoid demons. Gurasha looked at Velda. Can't you just ground them? Velda dramatically shouted, they won't listen to me. I'm supposed to be the god. Velgrind snorted. You're more like a mascot. Velzard nodded. Agreed. Stop agreeing on insults. Velda screamed. A brief silence fell. Then, in the center of it all, Dino shrugged. I think it's better to just let Velgrind and Velzard decide what they want. Everyone froze. Velda's mouth fell open. You can't just Dino. You of all people. Dino lazily pointed at Velgrind and Velzard. Yeah, let him sort it out. Honestly, this drama is exhausting. Seal smirked. I second that. Sylvia nodded slowly. Thirded. Lumiel sighed, rubbing his forehead. Gods help me. No, I am not helping. And just like that, the divine palace filled with a strange hush, tension heavy as starlight. In the silence, every pair of eyes turned toward Velgrind and Velzard, sisters, rivals, proud dragons. Neither flinched. The war had not yet begun, but the battlefield was already drawn. Then, without a shred of shame, Velda Nava turned dramatically toward Velzard and Velgrind, throwing his arms out like an overexcited stage actor. His blue eyes sparkled with exaggerated glee, lips forming a grin far too wide. Come on, come to big bro. Don't be shy now, your beloved elder brother is calling you. Velzard's stare sharpened like diamond shards as she crossed her arms, clearly unamused. Brother, she said with the same chill that could freeze time, we're not children. Stop acting like a clown. Velgrind, brushing back her dark blue hair, scoffed and tilted her hip confidently. Yeah, you might be older, but your emotional age is questionable at best. Her eyes, however, glinted mischievously as she sauntered closer to Lumiel, hips swaying with intention. Her voice lowered, sultry. But unlike a certain someone, I know how to be mature. Velzard, not one to lose in any battle, especially not one of attention, matched her sister's stride, stepping gracefully beside Lumiel from the other side. Mature, she teased, brushing her fingertips gently along the hem of Lumiel's sleeve. Please, don't make me laugh. Seduction isn't about flinging your chest at someone, it's about elegance and control. Seal narrowed her golden eyes, flicking her hair back arrogantly. TCH. How pathetic. Lumiel is not some low creature who gets lured in by breasts and hips. Know your place. Sylvia, standing close beside Lumiel with her warm, soft smile, nodded in agreement. Lumiel sees people's hearts, not just their bodies. That's why her voice faltered a moment, her cheeks glowing red, why I admire him so much. Orin gave a laugh, arms folded with casual amusement. Yep, our creator is a weird one. Blindfolded girls, broken logic, and literal cosmic chaos don't faze him, but cleavage. Yeah, good luck. Myra, always calm, gave a polite nod. He's above such things. That's why he created us the way he did. Garasha, blinking in disbelief, leaned toward Obera. Did they say he doesn't fall for power or beauty? Obera nodded slowly, her dark eyes narrowing. Apparently. Which makes him dangerous in a different way. Pico gasped, her little form trembling. So all my cute outfits were for nothing. Dino chuckled, slouching. Kinda makes sense though. He did clone himself just to confuse people 10,000 years ago. Seduction probably ranks below strategy for that guy. Lumiel, standing with a bemused, half-lidded expression, finally spoke. You two are beautiful, I get it. Anyone with eyes can see that. But I'm not a person who'll fall for a woman's body, or even her power. You knew that from the start. Velzard laughed lightly, her cool voice echoing. TCH, worth a try. Velgrind smirked, folding her arms under her chest. Huh, guess I'll just try harder. I don't lose to Velzard in anything. Velda Nava pouted theatrically. Look at this betrayal. My sweet, innocent sisters. What happened to loyalty? Obera rolled her eyes. You're the last one to talk about loyalty. Garasha gave a shrug. Honestly, this is kind of entertaining. Pico waved her arms frantically. Wait, are they really going to fight over Lumiel? This is like a soap opera. Dino burst into laughter. I'm loving this. I'm staying out of it, but I'm loving this. Myra calmly sipped tea she somehow conjured. It's peaceful, in a chaotic way. Orin clapped his hands together. I say let the sisters compete. Winner gets to hold Lumiel's hand for 5 seconds. Sylvia turned red. That's not fair. Seal scoffed. Why would he want to hold their hand when he already has ours? Velda Nava, arms flailing, suddenly jumped forward. Enough. I challenge you to a duel, Lumiel, for my sister's honor. A silence. Then Mac. Velgrind delivered a chop to the back of his head. Stop being stupid. Velzard followed up with a palm strike to his forehead. And dramatic. Velda Nava whimpered as he slid down the floor. OWWW. I'm being abused, by my own family. I raised you. Lumiel facepalmed. Velda, they raised you. Sylvia and Seal nodded together. That's true. Obara sighed. This entire room is cursed. Garasha chuckled. Or blessed. Depends on your tolerance. Pico tapped her chin. I give it an 810 for comedy. Dino grinned. Honestly, I vote to let the sisters decide who gets to be Lumiel's next lover. Myra nodded. Agreed. Oren raised a hand. Same. Sylvia blushed but nodded. If it's Velgrin-sama and Velzard-sama. I trust Lumiel's judgment. Seal huffed but admitted, I suppose if it's only the third and fourth spot. I allow it. Velda Nava sat on the floor cross-legged, his eyes watery and cheeks puffed like a sulking child. This is unfair. My cute sisters are leaving me for some sparkly-haired androgynous brat. Lumiel looked at him and said dryly, sparkly-haired brat. Really? Velda sniffled. I gave you wings. You didn't. I gave you power. For 2 days. I protected you. I didn't need it. Velda Nava threw his arms up. Stop that. Suddenly boom. A thunderous voice cracked through the heavens above, rattling the very stone walls of the divine chamber. Oi! Is there a so-called creator in there? I came to challenge you to a duel. Everyone froze. Obara blinked. Did that come from the sky? Garasha frowned. No, I think it came from below. Pico hid behind Dino. I'm scared, who's yelling? Dino sighed. Ah, we finally get some peace and now this. Sylvia looked toward the entrance. Is it a demon? Seal smirked. Another fool who doesn't know his place. Velgrind narrowed her eyes. HMPH. Whoever it is, he has guts. Velzard crossed her arms. Or no brain. Lumiel stared toward the distance, expression unreadable. Looks like some idiot has a death wish. Velda Nava stood up, brushing his clothes with exaggerated drama. I'm not feeling it, Lumikun. You handle this one for me, okay? Big bro's going to take a nap. Lumiel sighed. You're useless sometimes. Without waiting for another word, Lumiel turned and walked away from the chamber, the enormous door parting with divine grace. His long galaxy blue hair flowed behind him like starlight stitched into strands, eyes glowing faintly golden. And as the doors closed behind him with a resonant hum. == TOB continued ==